Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 3 A.M Bag Skate Podcast, named courtesy of John over here.
It's me. I came up with that.
We're just a couple of hockey nuts wanting to talk some hockey. We do it all the time. We figured we might as well start recording it.
We want it to be publicly known, all of our really bad takes on hockey.
I mean, as you can see, I'm a Panthers fan, so I'm going to have plenty of terrible takes.
Yeah, and I'm a Rangers fan. There we go. There it is.
But I'm Joe, a.k.a. Foos Joe Da, as I'm known around the internets. That's John, a.k.a. GhettoThunder. And,
GhettoThunder.
Why don't you give the people some background to your name, because it's a great story.
The background to my name. Yeah. Well, I gave it to myself. No. Well, growing up, playing a lot of hockey. I played a lot of street hockey with a lot of friends and such. A lot of those friends happened to be on ice hockey teams. Well, I couldn't really afford to play ice hockey. You know how fucking expensive it is to play any sort of hockey, getting ice time, the equipment. And I happened to be playing goalie at the time, too, which is just a double whammy. Like, you're paying, thousands of dollars to play goalie.
Yep.
So my friends wanted me to be able to play goalie with them on the ice because I played it in street hockey. They liked how I played, and they wanted a goalie on their ice hockey team. So I was like, well, fucking shit. I would love to, but I can't afford it. So what they did was they all pulled together, and they bought me goalie equipment. And I got to play on the ice team for one season, and it was a lot of fun. And the helmet was one of those old school generic ass lightning helmets, not like Tampa Bay Lightning, but just like the lightning bolts all over it.
Yeah.
And so they dubbed me the nickname GhettoThunder because, you know how you be like Eddie the Eagle or, like they had all these nicknames. No, I was just a fucking hood rat with a lightning helmet. So that's it. And it's stuck all throughout.
Well, that's awesome, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's delve into our first topic here. I've got some season predictions we want to get into. We're going to go through division by division, give our takes on where we think teams are going to end up. And let's start with the Atlantic, because I feel like that's the most, I guess it's the easiest to figure out.
It's easy to figure out maybe the top three.
Yeah, like sure. It's typically the most consistent. It has been the past few years.
Yeah.
So obviously first we're going to have Tampa again. I don't think Tampa has fallen off enough despite their postseason apocalypse that they went through.
Yeah.
But I still think they're going to rally back. They're going to be pissed off about what happened. An entire summer of hearing that they choked and that they don't have what it takes. That's going to definitely light a fire under them.
An angry Tampa is scary.
Yeah.
They were having fun last year.
Yeah. Yeah, I can only imagine what a pissed off Tampa is going to be like. Second, I was a little torn on. I'm still going to stick with Toronto because, they have all that young talent and forward, man, and it's so hard to ignore it.
Yeah.
Locking down Marner, you got Marner, Matthews, Tavares. Just those three alone is better than what most teams have in general across their entire roster.
It's true.
Their blue line, of course, it's a little left to be desired, but I think they have way too much offense that they're not gonna drop it all.
Mm-hmm.
Third, I have Boston again. It's the old guard, man. They've been doing it for years. They're gonna keep doing it until they either die or retire. So
yep, it's gonna be like Detroit, where everybody just had to retire out for them to finally decline. It's gonna be the same thing, yeah.
And then fourth, I have Florida, my boys. I'm going to have them as the first wild card team. The biggest issue with Florida last year, I watched every single game, and I can tell you that easily our biggest issue was goaltender. Luongo, just as much as I love the man, as much as he's been my favorite player for a decade now, he just did not have it anymore. And it was sad to see. Mm-hmm. And Reimer just, as a backup, he probably would have been fine starting 15, 20 games, but he could not put up the numbers we needed him to. And
when Luongo got hurt, right? He had to play quite a few games in his absence. So,
and now both of them are gone. Brought in the big fish, brought in Bobrovsky, paid him a lot of money to do so.
Sure did.
but hopefully he's gonna put up some great numbers for us. Our defense is still a little rough. Hopefully, bringing in Coach Quenville, I'm also super excited for. Hopefully, he just nails out a lot of our issues. I don't think we're gonna be the team we need to be to make top 3 in the division, but I think we're going to be good enough for the first wild card because those top 3 teams are it's very hard to unseat them.
Yeah.
5th, I have Montreal because I just think they're right behind Florida at the moment. I trust Carey Price. He's still one of the best goaltenders in the league, in my opinion.
If he plays, yeah.
If he plays, yeah.
If he doesn't get hurt.
The team in front of him is just, I don't know. Besides Shea Weber, there's a lot to be left desired on that blue line, and I just don't think their forward group is deep enough to overcome their lack of defense. Mm-hmm. So because of that, I'm gonna have them 5th. 6th, I have Buffalo. I wish they would have kept Robin Lehner a couple years ago.
Imagine him, but he had a really rough time in Buffalo.
Yeah. Definitely.
We've talked about Buffalo before amongst ourselves, and how the hell do you get up in the morning to play in Buffalo in the winter? I would be miserable as fuck. And you see how many players come out of Buffalo and then do amazing. I mean, Look at Ryan O'Reilly. Look at various players that come out of Buffalo and they just
Evander Kane.
So, yeah,
over in San Jose.
It's got to be so fucking hard to get up to play in Buffalo. That's just
for sure. I like Jeff Skinner. I think locking him down was very good for them. But I just don't think they have the depth on the blue line that they need. And but besides Eichel and Skinner, I just don't see it in the forwards to warrant, overcome their deficit in defense and goalie. So because of that, I have them 6th. 7th, I have Detroit. The bottom 2 are the easiest to figure out in this division because
yeah, they are.
Detroit's coming off. They're starting to elevate back out of their rebuild. They still have a long way to go, of course. Mm-hmm. Having Jimmy Howard has, kept them ahead of Ottawa because he can just steal a couple games here and there. But it's still going to be a rough couple of seasons for Detroit. But I feel like they're on the upswing. I feel like they're getting there. They just don't have enough yet. Mm-hmm. And then 8th, obviously, I have Ottawa. Complete rebuild.
Yeah. Not much to say about Ottawa.
Not much to say about Ottawa. I feel for their fans. The owner needs to sell the team. But besides that, they need to get some talent in there. And for the moment, they just don't have it.
Yeah, a lot of pieces coming up. They have a lot of assets to work with through their trades recently. Basically, they traded their whole fucking team away.
Yeah.
But right now, oh boy.
Yep.
Train wreck. All right, I'm giving mine a go here. The Atlantic Division. I got a few surprises here. I think I got hot takes.
I want to hear them.
I always realize whenever you see like the experts predict shit at the beginning of the year, it's kind of like a cookie cutter display.
Yeah.
It's like who you would expect them to pick.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, hey, I agree. And
so basically what I just did.
Not entirely. I think most people would, kind of entirely. Yeah, for that division, you fell right in line. So I'm the type that goes completely against the fucking grain here.
For the Metro, I could have some surprises for you, but for the Atlantic, it was pretty easy for the Atlantic.
Yeah, the Atlantic for me, I have the Toronto Maple Leafs finishing first place.
Ooh.
I think they got better in the offseason. I think having players locked down this time going in, there's no William Nylander situation going on. They don't have a pure scapegoat yet. You know how the Toronto media just completely fucking annihilates one or two guys on the team? Well, Gardner's gone, Kadri's gone. They can't talk shit about Tyson Barrie yet. So
yeah, give it time.
Yeah, give it a couple games. But I feel like they're one of the teams that got quite better, and they have that security now. They
kind
have
of addition by subtraction in a way.
Yeah, they have those 3 guys locked down. And yeah, they had to trade a few parts to make it all fit together. And yeah, they're going to be up against the cap for years to come.
Yep.
But I think their window is here, and they're going to finish in first. in the Atlantic. Also, I think Austin Matthews is going to be really pissed off.
Yeah.
Coming into this with all this, whatever the fuck's going on in his personal life bullshit. Usually when players, look at the Patrick Kane situation. He came back from that off season and killed it. The Drew Doughty situation. He came back from that and absolutely lit it up. So I feel like he has a lot to prove.
Now, granted, what Austin Matthews did isn't like.
Oh, it's not
on par the stuff that Kane and Doughty were going through.
But Toronto media will make it fucking look that way.
Yeah, so. They sure will.
So I have faith in Toronto. I don't know. Freddie Anderson is a hell of a goalie. Their defense got slightly better. They'll get production from the blue line with Tyson Barrie, and he's playing it for a contract too. So
true. I'll tell you what, Toronto fans would be happy to hear that because that means they don't face Boston again in the playoffs, and they want to avoid Boston at all costs.
Yeah, it's true. Second place, I have Tampa. They're not going to fall off too far. I feel like last year, everything kind of clicked for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't see it happening again exactly the way it did. Maybe a couple key injuries might lead to that. But Stammer Cat readjusts herself on my lap.
Good old Stammer Cat.
Yeah, she just predicted that Stamkos is going to get hurt this year. That's what she just did.
Fantastic.
So, again, he's going to get hurt again. But I have Tampa there. They're just too good not to be in second place in this situation. Third place, Joey, your boys for me.
Wow.
I got Florida in third.
So you have Boston falling out.
I got Florida in third. I think Quenneville is their biggest offseason acquisition. Most people say Bobrovsky.
Nah, I'm definitely on the Coach Q train.
I think Coach Q is going to make some shit work.
Oh, yeah.
Your top six is absolutely insane. Probably one of, if not the best in the league. And I don't know. I feel like Trocheck's going to have a really monster year.
Yeah, him getting hurt last year definitely threw him off, and I feel like he rushed back quicker than he should have because we were kind of in a downward spiral and needed that boost.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the summer of rest, and he can just come back and try to take at least some of the flack off the top line. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, when your second line is literally just as good as your first line,
I wouldn't go that far, but
just as dangerous, I should say. The same type of speed and skill. They could fuck you up out there. So I'm going Florida. I think Bobo's gonna have a good year, like a really good year.
All right.
And then I got Boston. They're gonna be in the wild card spot. They'll be in the first wild card spot for me. They didn't get worse. They didn't get much better. They didn't change much.
Right.
I don't think Halak is going to be as key for them as he was last year. And Tuukka has kind of shown he's a little streaky.
Mm-hmm.
He played incredibly well in the playoffs, obviously.
Yeah.
But during the regular season, he's a little streaky. So I feel like they're gonna crawl in that wild card spot and come fourth in the Atlantic.
And I'll tell you what, going back to where you got the Florida teams, that's what the NHL is going to really want. A first round matchup of Tampa and Florida.
Yes.
They've been itching for that for a while now.
By design. They love those Southern teams. The showcase. That'd be a hell of a series.
Oh, it would be.
Hell of a series. After that, I have Buffalo making it.
Okay.
They're in the fifth spot. They're gonna trade Ristolainen. I have a feeling they're gearing up to trade him. If they can get back a quality forward in return, someone maybe in their top six, which they should be able to, but I don't know if there's a lot to work with. Eichel is an absolute animal.
Yep.
You said Skinner. I could see Skinner scoring 40. I could see him getting up there again. I just have faith in Buffalo for some reason to not make the playoffs, but I have them coming in above Montreal, who I have at sixth. Montreal didn't really do anything, to my knowledge. Did they pick anybody up?
I have to double check their roster, but
if it doesn't stand out, then no.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't. At the top of my head, I can't think of really anyone.
No, and depending on Carey Price to stay healthy you just can't do it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because he's one of the best goalies in the world, if not the best. But he has to play.
Yep.
Yes. Sometimes I feel like he just doesn't want to play. They're like, he's out for another 2 weeks. He's got a cold. I think he just doesn't want to get up and go to the rink.
Okay. Let's give them some credit. They brought in Keith Kincaid.
Keithy Kincaid.
Let's give them that.
Ouch. That's pretty bad. But yeah, I got Montreal there.
Yeah, besides that, I know they'll have Nick Suzuki that'll probably start full time for them.
Yeah. Yeah, and you got Gallagher and Domi, and you got some scrappy dudes.
Tatar and
Tomash. Yeah.
Tomash.
So, it'll be decent, and it's Kotkaniemi,
a.k.a.
Yeah,
Barkov Jr.
That kid. He's turning 13 this year, so he might put up some more numbers. Jeez, that baby-faced bastard. And then I got Detroit coming in, for the same reasons as you.
Yeah,
they're getting there, but they're not there yet.
Exactly.
Kind of situation. And then Ottawa, dumpster fire.
Poor Ottawa.
They just don't have it. And poor Craig Anderson.
Yeah.
He was really coming into his own with a team that went to the conference finals, and then it all fucking fell apart after that. So I feel bad for that guy more than anything.
Definitely.
But that's my Atlantic.
Nice, man. Well, you definitely went off the grid for that one. I thought
Faith
it was
in your voice.
I thought it was pretty cookie cutter, classic for top three, bottom three. But hey, I respect
Not
it.
happening with me. Not happening with me this year. I'm going all over the board.
Now with the Metro, I couldn't figure out what to make of the Metro, man.
This one is a fucking crapshoot.
It's so hard. First, I have Washington. I think they're still top to bottom the most solid team in the Metro. Any team that's got Ovechkin, he's gonna make it a game no matter what. The guy's an absolute machine. Braden Holtby's still solid as a rock in there.
Top 5 goalies in the league easily.
And I just don't see them falling off that top spot. They're not going to be good enough for a President's Trophy, like in recent years. But hey, it could be good for them because when they won the Cup, they weren't the President's Trophy winners. So never know. Second, I have the Islanders, much to my dismay.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that Barry Trotz knows what he's doing over there.
Damn.
I think that Barzell is going to have a better year than he did last year. He's going to put up points similar to what he did in his rookie season that netted him the Calder. I don't know. I just think that, they don't have such, marquee names on the blue line. But what Trotz does with his, top 6 defensemen it's absurd, the kind of play that he gets out of them.
It's true.
And, we'll see if Varlamov can pull some of the magic that Leonard did. I didn't agree with them getting rid of Leonard. I think that Leonard had a fantastic season. They should have paid him.
No sense. That made no sense at all.
But
there had to be something going on there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No idea. But hopefully Varlamov comes in, has similar numbers, and I think they're going to do really well this year.
And you still got Greiss, who played extremely well last year. So if Varlamov slips, you got Tomas Greiss, who played almost on par with Leonard. So
yep, very true. They're definitely solid over there. And third, I have Carolina.
Whoa!
Yeah. God, what a fun team to watch, man. Their young talent is just absurd. Bringing in Niederreiter has been insane. Aho, thankfully, did not go to Montreal. Thankfully, they matched that. I knew they were going to.
Shittiest offer sheet of all time.
It was so easy for them. I don't know. It was so easy for them to match it.
They made it cheaper. Yeah. I feel like they would have gave him more money.
Definitely. I'm glad that Reimer's got a decent spot now. He can chill over in Carolina, start 15 games a year or whatever they need him to. But who knows? Because Reimer and Mrazek, that could be detrimental to him. It could be. I don't know. But bringing in Dzingel also is
that's an underrated
solid
pickup
from them. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And they got they picked up Gardner as well from Toronto. So.
Yep. So they. Oh, and they just traded for Edmondson. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
it happened recently, a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So they have a chance, and I would love to see them get that spot. I think it would be a really fun team to have there. And then In fourth, taking the second wild card spot, I have your boys, the New York
What?
Rangers. Yeah.
You're high. You're high.
I'm sorry, dude. I trust in New York. I don't know why, but I do. I think that Capo, or whatever, however you say his name, Capo.
Capo. That's what we call him here in New York.
I think he's going to come in and just take the league by storm, man. I think he's going to hit the ground running and just go nuts. And then
I fucking hope so.
Bringing in, probably the biggest fish of the free agency, Artemi Panarin.
The bread man.
Yeah. He's hopefully he can put up like 35-ish, but just could net a lot of helpers for you. And I don't know. I like the squad. I think that Hank still has a lot in the tank. Nice ride.
Dude, tonight's preseason game was listening. He was lights fucking out. He still got it.
I know he does.
In preseason, he gets up and just fucking competes. He won't lose that until he's like 45.
And then, even going with the backup, Georgiev is having a solid preseason.
Yeah, and aside from him, Shesterkin is fucking insanely good.
Yep.
I got the chance to catch his game. They got fleeced because they gave up something like 43 shots. But
Jesus.
he stopped 40 of them. As a kid, that's pretty fucking good. He played really well.
So I think if Georgiev can come in, take some of the pressure off Hank, start maybe 30 to 35 games, and just have decent numbers, I think that they have a chance, man. They're not going to crack top 3, but I could see them sneaking into that second wild card, just right down the line. I can see it happening. And then fifth, dropping out of the postseason, I have the Penguins.
Oh, the shitbirds.
Yep. I don't think that they're going to have enough to just jump back in. I think they were kind of clinging on to life at the end of last season. And now they brought in Galchenyuk, but they lost Phil Kessel. So who knows how that's going to work out. With Phil, you knew he was going to get you at least like 80 points.
Yeah.
I don't know if Galchenyuk's going to have the same kind of production as Phil Kessel. So he's
got a lot to prove.
It's tough to make the call when you have a 1-2 punch of Crosby and Malkin. It's tough to say that they're not going to have what it takes to get back in. But I don't know. I feel like this year is going to be the year that they start to fall out. I think that Sid's going to start dropping off a little bit. I think that Matt Murray's not going to have what it's going to take to propel the team into the postseason. And I think this is going to be the year.
Oh, shit. I like the sounds of that.
And then sixth, I have Philly. I like some of the acquisitions they made. Some of them I feel like they gave up too much for. For whatever reason, they're paying their second line center over $7 million a year, Jimmy Hayes.
It's
Kevin Hayes.
Yeah.
Sorry, wrong Hayes, brother.
Yeah,
but too many Hayes. But yeah, Kevin Hayes. My apologies. Still overpaid to play second line center. If you have a second line center not named Malkin, you're paying too much for him. If you're paying him $7 million a year, like
how much does Trocheck make?
Trocheck makes like 4.5, I think.
Really, I thought he would make more.
Yeah, he makes $4.75 million until the end of 2021-2022.
That's a deal.
Yeah, and you want to know a deal? Barkov's making $5.9 million.
Good guy. Nathan McKinnon. Yeah, McKinnon stuck at 6 point something. Yeah.
But yeah, $7 million for Kevin Hayes. That's
a lot of money.
Steep. But I mean, their forward group is still, besides that, absurd. You've got obviously Claude Giroux, you've got Voracek, you've got Konechny, Van Riemsdyk if he can stay healthy, Couturier. Like their top six is loaded.
Yeah.
And Carter Hart, man, came on the scene, played absolutely lights out, and I think another offseason, another few weeks of him getting acclimated in here instead of just coming cold out the gate. I think he's gonna have a really solid season this year.
He looks like the real deal. Yeah.
But again, I just don't think they're gonna have just enough to warrant a spot. But we'll see. The Metro is so hard to call right now because who I have in seventh, I can easily see in a wild card spot in New Jersey.
Yeah.
It's it's so hard. You know, trading for PK Subban, you got Jack Hughes. You know, you make all these additions, and to me with Jersey, it's gonna come down to Corey Schneider.
100%.
He's got to have a great year. If he doesn't have a great year, I don't think Blackwood can come in and have enough of what it takes to keep this team in it. I like that they brought in Wayne Simmons. Taylor Hall being healthy is going to be a huge boost. Hopefully they can get him extended so there's no other issues.
An insane boost.
Yeah, and he's going to get paid for sure. But again, bringing in Subban, having some solidity on the blue line is going to be helpful for them. And, you know, like I said, right now I have him in 7th because I don't trust Corey Schneider. But if he gets out hot and they get off on a roll, they could easily end up 3rd, 4th place. You know, it's so tough to call.
Yeah.
But the one team I feel that wasn't very tough to call was Columbus. Poor Columbus lost everybody. You know, as happy as I was to see them finally make the 2nd round, when you lose Panarin, when you lose Bobrovsky, when you lose Duchesne, when you lose Dzingel, there's only so much you can do the following season after that. And credit to their GM and their owner for saying we're all in, we're going for it this year.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out. I still like a lot of their pieces there. They still have a solid team, but it's not going to be enough. Like, you know, you've got Atkinson, you got Dubinsky. Those two are obviously going to be solid. They are every year. Boone Jenner's, you know, always up there in points. It's just, I don't know. They're just not going to have enough.
No, they're just overshadowed by too many teams.
For sure. And for that reason, I don't think they have what it takes to get out of the 8th spot.
Bottom dwellers.
Yep.
All right, my Metro looks vastly different.
Hey, I'm glad to hear it.
Fuck, you roll the dice, and this is where all the teams landed for me. This one's literally a crapshoot. I could see any team aside from the Blue Jackets potentially making a playoff spot.
Yep.
That's how crazy.
That's pretty much how I had it.
The Metro is. I agree with the Washington at first. They're too well built. They're too solid. Barring some severe injury, then even then they have too many good pieces to back up. You know, even if Ovechkin goes out for a couple weeks, you still have Kuznetsov, you still have Backstrom, you still have Tom Wilson, Mr. Wilson. Bastard. He's going to score like 30 goals this year, and everyone's going to be really
that would be absurd.
Right? Everyone's going to just be super pissed off. And I love it. But I got Washington up there. Holtby's he's too deep.
Yeah, for sure.
He's healthy. He's so goddamn good. In 2nd place, I have the New Jersey Devils.
Ooh.
New Jersey Devils coming in 2nd place in the Metro.
I have them 7th. You have them 2nd. That's as much of a crapshoot as we can call it right there.
And coming from a Rangers fan, that's pretty big. I think Jack Hughes is a generational talent. I think he's going to be on Sidney Crosby levels. I honestly can see that happening. He makes all of the players around him better, and he has a good cast around him. With Taylor Hall coming back, I think Wayne Simmons is a nice player to be up there, potentially on the same line with him. You know, Simmons is a fucking wrecking ball in front of the net. And then you have Gusev, who is a complete fucking wild card.
I forgot about him too. Yep.
Yeah, he's a complete wild card there. And adding PK Subban, their power play, and I don't think I've ever said this in my entire life, but the Devils' power play is up there with the top power plays in the entire league.
Yep, definitely.
That is not something you hear every year. So, like you said, though, it's going to come down to Corey Schneider and Blackwood. I could see them trading time, much like Leonard and Grice did on Long Island. And I have seen Corey Schneider play really well, and I think he still has that in him. He was coming off a hip surgery. He was being sent up and down, conditioning stints and all this kind of stuff. Having a full summer to just focus and to be able to get back to NHL caliber goaltending, I think he's going to do just fine.
Tell you what, fans of Metro teams are not gonna like hearing you say that Jack Hughes is gonna be Crosby-esque, because they think they're right on the tail end of Crosby. They're finally gonna get away from him, and then bam, here comes the new young stud. He's gonna be like,
Yep.
hey, enjoy me for the next 10, 15 years.
I could just see him, like Crosby played with Chris Kunitz. He played with Pascal Dupuis. He played with certain players that did jack shit anywhere else. Well, I mean, Kunitz won cups in other places, but he wasn't as good as he was on Crosby's line, obviously. But I can see Hughes making the players around him superstars.
Mm-hmm.
He's just got that kind of swag to him, I guess you would say.
Definitely.
So, New Jersey, second place.
Wow.
That hurts me to say. That hurts me a lot to say, but that's the way I see it. And then in third place, I got the Philadelphia Flyers.
Okay.
I got the Philadelphia Flyers for all the reasons you said. Their top six is loaded.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is looking good. You got Ghost back there. Provorov's coming into his own. The only drawback, I think Nolan Patrick is not starting the season with them. I think he's got a couple weeks, something to do with concussion issues. Or,
I was reading something about that.
Yeah,
he's not going to be right at the beginning with them.
Very unfortunate.
But, yeah, definitely. But hopefully by, November, he'll be right back and in the full swing.
Yeah. But even without him, I see them just playing extremely well.
Mm-hmm.
They had a couple people kind of vying for spots in the preseason that played pretty well for them as well. So I think they'll fill that gap until the time's needed. And their goaltending, Carter Hart, he's the real deal.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think he's the real fucking deal. I could see him getting 30, 35 wins easily this year with that team in front of him, as long as everybody stays healthy. And Claude Giroux's going to have another 100-point season. I can feel it.
I can see that. I can see it.
And Voracek's going to score 35 goals this year. I got that locked down right there. So when the season ends, you come back to me and tell me how he scored 35 on the dot. In fourth, in the second wild card position, I have the Shitbirds. I got the Pittsburgh Shitbirds.
You ain't having them falling out, huh?
I got them coming in. Mainly, and it's the opposite of what you said. I think Matt Murray has it. I think he's going to come back this year. He's going to shake off the cobwebs. I mean, the man, he lost his father.
Yeah.
He came in, and they basically told him, we got rid of Marc-Andre Fleury, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
We got rid of a Hall of Fame caliber goaltender, one of the best goalies of all time, to go with you. That's a lot of fucking pressure on a kid.
Yep.
And then to have all the personal stuff go in, that gets in your fucking head. I think he's had his time to clear his head and get back to business. And I think he's going to do all right this year.
I will say
Much
that.
better than last year.
I definitely agree with that. That's why I had him fifth. Because I can easily see if Matt Murray gets out hot and just has a stellar year, they can easily make the playoffs. No doubt in my mind.
Definitely. And because you chose my boys over them, I just want to say that, so. Because you made the right choice. Yep. Speaking of my boys, I got them coming in fifth. I just don't think they have the defense to get them into a playoff spot. I think they'll be a bubble team. One of the main reasons, and this was a mind-boggling stat that I heard just tonight listening to the game on the radio. The Rangers had the most one-goal games out of any team in the entire league. So these are hard-fought games.
Right.
42.
Oh my Lord.
And if you think,
wow,
a goal here, a goal there, you go into overtime, you get that extra point, who knows what happens, you get an extra 2 points here and there. They could have been something different last year. Then again, they were only winning games by one goal as well, so they could quite, themselves beyond any of that. So I just see them being a bubble team. The defense needs a lot of work. I think they should fire Lindy Ruff as their defense coach. That's my fucking big. They look terrible at times.
Oh, Lindy.
I will say that Hayek looks really good so far. I think he came over in the Tampa Bay trade as part of that trade with McDonough and such. But I think they'll be okay. They won't be as tear-jerking, dream-shattering as they were last year. I mean, you got Trouba, Panarin, Kakko. You got some good shit going on there. So let's just hope everybody stays healthy, and they can at least not make Hank retire early. After that, I got Carolina. I got the Hurricanes.
Okay.
I don't know. I think last year was special. I think they just had a special season, and I think it's going to decline a little bit this year. Sebastian Aho is fucking insane. He's one of the best players in the league. That's for damn sure. I just don't know if the supporting cast around him can duplicate what they did last year.
You just don't like them because of the storm surge. You can admit it.
Yes, and they're not doing it this year. Did you hear they said they're not going to do it? That and their captain is literally taking time away from the game, and who knows if he's coming back. So I think that might play a factor. Old Justin Williams taking a little step back.
Yep.
So that might play a factor. I think he had a lot to do with those kids.
Yeah.
He got the most out of those kids over
Mr.
there.
Game 7.
God, we got to respect the hell out of a guy like that.
Yep.
And he said in an interview that sometimes you have to eat a shit sandwich. So you need that type of leadership in your locker room.
Yep.
After that, I got the Blue Jackets, CBJ.
Yeah.
I could see Torts being so fucking pissed off that the guys played relatively well just not to see what happens in the locker room after the game. That's my main sticking point. I couldn't tell you who their backup goalie is. I know their starter is Corpusalo, but I couldn't even.
Yeah, honestly, me neither.
It's probably a guy that's never played in the NHL. It's got to be like a kid off the street. I could have tried out, I think.
Yep, right now their second goaltender, at least according to Cap Friendly, is Elvis Merzlikins.
His name is Elvis.
Yep.
That'll just tell it all. Elvis Merzlikins is going to win the Vezina. No. So I got the Blue Jackets, and then fuck you, Islanders. I got you in last place just because I don't
just out
like
of spite.
You. Yeah, that's 100% a spite pick. So I'm trying to wish it into existence.
Hey, if it happens, you look like a genius.
That's true. It's true.
All right. Well,
all right.
Very, very interesting over in the Metro. That's going to be the hardest division to tell, for
By
sure.
far.
Yeah, we're not going to know what's happening with that division until at least after the All-Star break.
Even then,
yeah.
Even then, I have no idea until the last fucking day.
Yeah.
The first place and last place will be separated by 2 points.
I don't know about that. But let's moving on to the Western Division now. We're gonna start with the Central, and I had a note here that I wanted to put one team first, but I'm actually gonna change it on the fly now.
What?
After I'm thinking about it, because I had Nashville 1, Colorado 2, but I'm putting Colorado now. In
Colorado
the first spot.
in first?
Putting Colorado is going to be
Without
leading
Rantanen,
the Central.
Lockdown? No Rantanen?
I think they're going to get it done. I don't think they're going to let it loom anymore. They've got plenty of cap space. They're gonna get that done. They can't afford to be without Rantanen. They're going to get that done. All their distractions are going to be out the window. And man, what a talented forward group they've got.
Yeah. Fuck.
And I just think they're going to have a full year of Cale Makar as well on the blue line.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be a stud. And Grubauer getting even more help on the blue line is going to be immense for him. I always liked Philip Grubauer. I felt like he always had what it took in Washington behind Holtby. I always knew that he could be good enough for a starter's role somewhere. And I hope he's landing with Colorado. I hope he continues to play well because, man, what a fun team to watch.
Yeah, I love listening to their games.
And now they have Kadri, who's going to come in, provide some grit, some toughness for them. Keep some of the other teams off of McKinnon, off of Landeskog. That'll be great for them. They brought in Donskoy, who, in my opinion, was always underrated in San Jose. So I like what he can bring to them. Adding to a group like, Burakovsky, Comfer. They brought in, Pierre-Wood Belmar. They have the young kid Nichushkin. Like, there's so many players you can name off here.
Yeah.
And that's without even Rantanen having a contract. So I think once they get Rantanen's deal done, they're going to just storm out the gates and just never look back.
Yeah, and the way their season ended last year, I feel like they're pretty pissed off too.
Yeah, most definitely. On a last minute decision, I'm changing it up. I'm putting Colorado first in the Central.
On the fly.
Yep.
That's what happens on the bag skate.
And then second, I'm gonna have Nashville. I think losing Subban is going to hurt a lot more than they realize. Despite, they're still going to have a fantastic blue line. That's without a doubt.
Yeah.
Roman Yossi is absurd back on the back end there. But I think just the way that Subban moves the puck, the way he can fire from the blue line, I just think that that's not something that's easily replaceable. But they brought in Duchesne, who, without Panarin, would have probably been the most sought-after forward free agent on the entire market if it wasn't for Panarin. So that's a huge add for them. They needed help in their top six, and he immediately brings it. And then, when you have goalies like Pekka Rinne and UC Saros backing him up, solid 1-2 tandem, rocks year after year. So
yeah,
they're definitely not going anywhere. I have Colorado jumping them, but they're not going to drop below second.
Yeah.
And then third, I have the Chicago Blackhawks.
Holy shit.
Yep. I love Alex DeBrincat. Like, what a stud of a player, man. He's going to light it up this year. I can easily see it happening. When you got players like Kane and Taves, two all-time generational players still playing well. Kane was top 5, top 10 in points last year.
Yeah.
Still. So that's not something that is it's not going to hinder them, and I don't think that they're going to have as rough a time this season as they did last year. Their blue line worries me a little bit. Duncan Keith and Seabrook are getting up there in age, but I think that having Robin Leonard now is going to take some pressure off of Crawford. I think that he doesn't have to worry about playing through any kind of injury that he has or any kind of I think he was suffering from vertigo was the issue last year. Some intense vertigo.
Concussion issues. Yeah, he's had some pretty bad
So if he's ever feeling off, they don't have to worry. They can throw in Leonard, and he's going to be a stud behind them anyway.
They went from Cam Ward to a Vezina nominated goaltender. So
so I think that with that because their biggest issue last year was the net. I feel like they just didn't have the goaltending that they needed. And now you bring in Leonard as a solid support option and someone who can easily give you 40 to 50 games if Crawford can't go. So I think that with all that, I think another year of playing with DeBrincat, he's going to just take another step forward. And I just like what they're doing.
Can't forget Dylan Strome, having a full year of Dylan Strome.
Yeah, Dylan Strome as well.
He played really well with him.
And was it this season, off-season, they brought back Andrew Shaw, or was it last season?
I think they brought him back.
I can't remember.
No, this off-season, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Was it this well, there you go.
Andy Shaw.
There's another addition for you. So, all that combined, I'm gonna go with Chicago. It's
risky
definitely
choice,
not. Yeah,
but I could see it happening.
And let's see, fourth and taking up the first wild card spot, I have the Dallas Stars.
Ooh.
Again, just like Chicago, the forward group is absurd. You bring in Pavelski to add to Sagan and Jamie Benn, and that's just, man, what a top six that they're gonna have. Obviously they've had Radulov. Gonna be hopefully have a better year this year than he did last year, but I think that he will. I think he'll bounce back nice. Klingberg on the blue line, always a rock for them.
Yeah.
I think Heiskanen is going to have another year under his belt. He's going to be solid for them. And then Ben Bishop, not enough could be said about Ben Bishop throughout his career.
He's a giant man with pillows.
And Khudobin's not a terrible backup. Not a terrible backup to have. He
might be the best backup in the league. Every team he's played for, he's always showed up. He
can give you a number of quality starts when you need him to. And with Bishop's injury history recently, they might have to lean on him. But, I love Ben Bishop, always have. And we'll see the interesting dynamic I want to see with them is they brought in Corey Perry. and I don't know
Who
what
knows?
exactly he can bring to them, but it'll be interesting to see. And I don't know, we'll see what kind of magic they can make with the players that they've added.
I'm most excited to see the potential Joe Pavelski, Corey Perry on the same line.
Oh,
Coming from
brutal.
San Jose and
Yep, and Anaheim.
I
Yep.
just want to see it. Make
That
sure
would
it's
be
real.
great.
Yeah.
And fifth, I have falling out of the playoffs despite winning the Stanley Cup.
No.
The St. Louis Blues.
No.
Yep. I think we are looking at a fall from grace. I think that they played way out of their element towards the end of last season. I mean, there's no way you can say that the bottom of the standings team making the playoffs after January is nothing short of a miracle. And the fact that they won the Stanley Cup at all, to me, it's an act of God. I don't know.
It was magical.
I don't know what got into the water in St. Louis.
It was Gloria. It was Gloria. And then they said they're not going to play Gloria anymore. So they basically just got rid of their magical wand.
So I just don't see it. You know, their game, what was it? Game 1 or game 2? I think it was game 2. Edmondson had the overtime winner.
Yeah.
And,
game 2.
And they traded him away. And to me, that stinks.
Sign. That's a sign.
And I don't know. I just don't think they're going to have the same magic this year. I just don't. And we've seen it before. We've seen teams that are good enough to win the Stanley Cup, and then the very next season, they don't even make the playoffs.
Yeah, and they're usually on runs like that.
Yep.
Remember the L.A. Kings did it. Yeah.
And I think this year we're going to be looking at another one of those. We're going to be looking at St. Louis on the outside looking in. I don't think they're going to be tragic. I just don't think they're going to have enough to make it into the postseason. And we'll see.
Intriguing.
That's going to be a fun team to pay attention to, because obviously with any team that won the Stanley Cup, you want to see how they do the following year.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I don't see them in the same league as, say, Pittsburgh after they won their cups. I don't see them being that team that can say, okay, we won the cup, we're hungry again, we want it again next year. And then they're right back in the playoffs making deep runs. I just don't see it.
Yeah. They seem pretty satisfied.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, fuck, we never thought this would happen. And they're like one and done. They can all die in peace now, kind of thing.
Yep. And then in 6th place, I have the Winnipeg Jets.
Ooh, what a fall.
The poor Jets, man.
Free falling.
I don't know what is going on in Winnipeg right now for them to just not have their top forwards locked down. You've got the cap space. Yeah. You've got the roster spots. I don't understand what the holdup is between them, Line A, and Connor, that they can't get deals done and just get ready for the season. And, of course, we don't know what's happening with Dustin Byfuglien. And
that's a big one.
If Byfuglien ends up retiring, like people are assuming and speculating that he might, that's going to be a tremendous blow, because outside of Byfuglien, their blue line is not looking stellar.
They lost everyone
on
defense.
Right now, they're looking at a top pairing of likely Kulikov and Neil Pionk.
Let's go.
I guess that's their top pairing if Byfuglien's gone, which, man, if that's the case, then
Morrissey's back, right? He's one of the only ones.
Yep, returning. Morrissey's back. So I could see Morrissey, Pionk, top line. But even still, man, like, that blue line is rough. And I'm going to feel bad for Hellebuck, because I feel like Hellebuck is going to take a step back because of that. I like Hellebuck, but I think that he was a product of a lot of what Byfuglien brought. And
big buff, man.
Yeah, yep. And I don't think they're going to have it. I think the distractions from Line A and Connor, them not getting that done, I don't think they're going to be able to come in and get a hot start like they need to. Yeah. And I think they're going to stumble out of the gate and then just not going to have the talent in the back end to recover from it. And which is, tough to see, because I like their team. I love Blake Wheeler. I love Mark Scheifele. You know, they're great players. I don't know. It's gonna be rough, in my opinion, and I don't see them coming back if they stumble. If they don't stumble, if they still start out great, then anything can happen.
Yeah.
But if they stumble out, then I don't know. I could see them just staying at the bottom and just meandering around there for a while. And then last place in the Central for me, I have Minnesota.
Surprise!
Yeah. Things are rough in Minnesota right now. Dropped out of the playoffs last season. I don't see them. They couldn't do enough against the cap that they're at right now to elevate their team to get back into the postseason. And because of that, I don't see it. I don't see it for them. I don't feel like Dubnyk has the magic that he had a few years ago anymore.
No, I feel bad for him.
And things are going to be rough in Minnesota, in my opinion. I love their team. In my opinion, the best logo in the league. I'll give them that.
I love that logo.
That logo is so nice.
Yeah. Since the Whalers is gone,
Yep.
I would say that Minnesota has one of the best for sure.
But besides that, man, it's going to be ugly in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And, of course, Boudreaux behind the bench. I don't think he's going to know what to do for most of the year.
He's got to be on his way out.
Yeah. I don't.
He can't take that team anywhere.
Yeah. So that's why, in my opinion, I just don't see this team being anywhere that they could be anywhere besides the bottom of the Central. I just don't see it.
Yeah, that's a lock for me too. All right, my Central picks. I'm not going to change my first pick at the last minute. I'm going to stick with my boys in Nashville. I think they just, with Duchesne coming in, they got so much better down the middle. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they're just too solid. Even with getting rid of Subban, their defense, my cat is rolling around, knocking everything around. They're just so solid. You got Ekholm, you got Ellis, you got Yossi.
Yep.
Pekka Rinne still playing out of his mind at his age. He's the same age as Lundqvist. Did you know that?
Really?
I didn't realize that. Yeah, they're the same age.
Damn.
But I feel like they're just gonna take the Central. As wild as the Central is gonna be, I think they take the Central. In second place, I got the Dallas Stars.
Ooh.
I think they got a lot better. Pavelski is just good. He's just good at everything. Jamie Benn is going to have a better year. He struggled at the beginning of last year until, what was it? One of the people up top called him horse shit. Fucking horse shit. And then he was like, okay, I guess I'll start playing again. So I think they'll mesh well. Radulov is going to play well again as well. And they have the young guys too. Like you said, Heiskanen. They got Rupe Hintz, which is one of my favorite names.
Such a great name.
Well, what do they got? Radek Faksa. They got Pitlick. They got a bunch of good names.
So good.
I'm rooting for the names.
So good.
So I think Dallas, and you said Ben Bishop, always good. The man is 700 feet tall. You literally have to. It's impossible to score on the guy. We'll just say that.
He's a monster.
Yeah, he's a goddamn Neanderthal.
Dude can be in the butterfly and still tower over the top of the net.
He literally just stays on his knees the whole fucking time. He doesn't stand up because if he does, he's looking over the boards. So I feel like Bishop he's going to play really well. And Anton Hudobin is the best at filling a backup role because he doesn't want to be the guy.
Yep.
He wants to be the backup, and he just wants to hang out back there and be like, okay, you need me to start, coach? No, okay, I'm just going to eat popcorn on the bench and watch Ben Bishop be a giant. So I feel like Dallas is going to do good things. They're going to come in second place. Nice. I have Colorado in third for all the reasons you mentioned.
Yeah.
Colorado is Colorado. The only reason I think Rantanen isn't done yet is because Joe Sakic has balls of steel.
Yeah.
And he's just going to sit there and be like, Nathan McKinnon only makes $6 million. And you'd be like, you think you're going to make more than Nathan McKinnon? You think that's going to happen, Mr. Rantanen? He's like, yeah, I'm going to make more than Nathan McKinnon. So that's what's holding that whole deal up is Joe Sakic.
I could easily see that.
Joe Sakic is like, in 1 year I made like $20 million. before the cap era, so you're never going to hit that. So. Put them in their place.
Oh.
I think Colorado's going to do well. I agree with the Grubauer. I think he's always meant to be a starting goaltender, and he really found his place in Colorado to be able to do that. Who is their backup? I don't know who their backup is now.
For Colorado?
It was Harley and Grubauer, and then it...
Yeah.
So, it's an interesting one. And then you got Nazem Kadri coming in.
It looks like, according to Cap Friendly anyway, their backup is listed as Pavel Francouz.
Oh, let's go, Francouz!
I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know if it's Francouz or Francouz. I'm saying Francouz because that sounds French, and I'm terrible at pronouncing French.
Yeah, he's probably...
So we'll go with Pavel Francouz.
Pavel Francouz.
He's 29 years old, apparently.
He's lights out. He's the next Binnington. Now, I got Colorado hitting up third place.
Okay.
Surprisingly, this is where we start to differ. I mean, we shuffled a little bit in the beginning. I have Winnipeg coming in with the first wild card. I think their forwards are too good. I think with Wheeler and Scheifele, and I'll tell you what's holding up the whole Kyle Connor and Patrick Laine situation. Patrick Laine is a bitch. He thinks he deserves so much fucking money. He really does. And he complains about not playing with the best players. I can't score goals if I'm not playing on the top. Well, you don't fucking deserve it. You scored 5 goals in one game, and then you fucking disappeared for half the season. Like, get the fuck out of here. He's the epitome of what's wrong with some pro athletes. Like, you need to prove yourself, buddy. I'm sorry.
He scorned you in fantasy one year, didn't he?
I don't know, but maybe. I think that might have been it. No, it's because I chose him to win the fucking Richard last year, remember?
Yep.
I had him over fucking Ovechkin.
Yeah.
I'm stupid. Fuck you, Patrick. And Kyle Connor, I would give him all the money. I would say, you know what? We're going to give what we were going to give Laine, we're going to give it all to Kyle Connor. Because he fucking works his balls off, and he doesn't care what line he's on. He's going to work his balls off anyway. So fuck you, Patrick Laine. They're going to make the wild card.
I think the issue with the current RFAs that are going on that haven't been signed, at least from what I'm hearing, is that they want to cash in twice.
Yeah.
Like, they want a big 3-year deal right now for
they want a bridge deal.
Yeah, for like $7-8 million a year.
And then lock the 8
that way
after.
lock the 8 after they put up solid numbers in those 3 years. They could say, all right, look, you paid me this much, and I put up all these numbers for you, and now the cap is raised since I signed this one deal back then 3 years ago, and now you're going to pay me $13 million, or else I'll take my walk and I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah, they're doing the opposite of what got players like Nathan McKinnon locked in for.
And from what I believe, if they sign that 3-year deal at the end, they're UFAs.
Yeah.
So if they don't want to stay, they can just walk.
Yep.
So
they can test the open market.
And obviously, owners and GMs don't want that. They want to lock their players down.
Yep.
So I can see the tensions. I can see how hard it is to try to get something done.
Yeah,
because
they want to make.
You want to do right by your player, but you don't want to bankrupt your team, and you don't want to, just cripple your future for one player.
Yep. Yeah, they're doing the opposite. They're not getting locked down for 7 years at $6 million, and then everything goes. You explode like Nathan McKinnon, and then you're making jack shit compared to the rest of the league. That's you got Marner making 10.
That's exactly what happened to Barkov.
Yep.
He signed when he was 19 years old. He signed his deal, and he's going to be making just under $6 million until until 2022. He's going to be making $6 million.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of money on the table, especially with the cap going up.
Yeah, for sure.
So fuck you, Patrick Laine. Then I have St. Louis coming in after them, and I have them taking the wild card 2 spot. I have St. Louis making it back.
So you got 5 teams from the Central making the playoffs.
Yes.
Okay.
I have 5 teams from the Central making the playoffs.
I struggled on that, but I'll get to why I chose what I chose in the Pacific when we get there. But I struggled on whether I wanted 5 teams from the Central in the playoffs or not.
I had to go with the 5. They're just too good. They're all contenders in my eyes, too.
Yeah.
Like, they could all battle for the cup this year.
Yep.
But I chose St. Louis. They're still solid. They didn't get rid of too much, and they just added Justin Falk, who I think is going to add a dynamic there. Losing Edmondson, they're not even going to realize it, I don't think. I think Falk is going to bring something that trumps what Edmondson brought. Binnington's not going to be as great as he was. I don't think he can duplicate that, which is why I have him in a wild card 2 spot. But I still think he's going to be a good goalie. He showed that he was a good goalie.
Yeah.
So, and Ryan O'Reilly's an animal. After that, I have Chicago.
Okay.
Now that you talked about them, though, I kind of feel like they could sneak into that wild card too with the full year of Strome, the Brinket. They got Gustafson on the blue line, who he was blasting home pucks left and right.
Yep.
Wasn't that crazy?
Yep.
He came out of nowhere. You get a decent year out of Duncan Keith, Seabrook. You get decent years out of these guys, and I could see them doing all right.
Mm-hmm.
And the 1-2 punch of Crawford, if he's healthy, and Robin Leonard, that's pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see Chicago doing okay. And then you have Minnesota.
Minnesota.
At least Bill Guerin and Harry Connick Jr. could swap from time to time and take the pressure off each other because they're literally the same person. I thought they were the same person for years growing up. I thought they were. And then you got Zuccarello. I'm glad he got paid money. I love Zooks. I think he could be kind of a dark horse there.
Yeah.
Zooks is one of those players, he's heart and soul. I feel like I love the hell out of him. I miss him a lot. But I don't see them doing very well. Poor Dubnyk.
Poor Dubnyk indeed.
That's my central.
Very, very interesting. I don't think we've agreed on almost anything.
No, and we never will.
Besides the top and bottom of the Atlantic. That's one of the only... even then, because you said Toronto, so...
It's true.
No, it was the bottom and top of the Metro is what we agreed on. Washington and Columbus being top and bottom.
But no, I had Islanders in last.
Oh, yeah.
Fuckers.
Oh, man. All right, well, let's see if our Pacific can be any closer.
I'm doubting
I have my doubts. I have my doubts, but we'll see.
Mine's a shit show, so let's do this.
Winning the Pacific, San Jose, in my opinion. I think that they have the best defense in the league. It was going to be Nashville, but moving out Subban and really not getting much back. For me, having a 1-2 tandem of Burns and Carlson is absurd.
Yeah.
You've got 2 Norris Trophy winning defensemen, not nominated, but winning defensemen playing on your blue line together. That's absurd to me. Yeah. And Martin Jones has to have a better year. He does. It can't get much worse.
Can't it?
I don't think it can get any worse than it did. And part of their magic from 2 years ago was that when Marty Jones started to struggle, Aaron Dell came in and was a rock. But he just wasn't that last year. I don't know what happened.
But they still ended up doing just fine, even with that shitty goaltender.
Yep.
Somehow, some way.
Losing Pavelski is going to be rough for them. Not just for the points that he puts up, but that guy was all over the place for them.
He was the captain.
Yep.
Lose your captain.
Yep. I still have them doing tremendously well. But I think the Pacific as a whole is going to take a step back. And I just think that they're going to be leading what's left of the Pacific when all is said and done. I just think they have too much talent to not do that. In second, I have Calgary. Despite gaining Lucic, I don't know if he sees the ice for them. If he does, it's a mistake.
No, he will.
But I don't know. Johnny Gaudreau is still one of the best players on the planet. For being his size, being able to do what he does is insane. And they just locked down Kachuk for, I think it was 3 years they locked him down to.
Yeah, that guy's an animal. I love the way he plays.
So, Gaudreau, Kachuk, Sean Monahan, Backlund, these guys that they're going to turn to that are all solid. I think that they're going to have just enough to get second in the division. And then on that blue line, of course, you got Giordano, who's absurd.
God bless him.
You've got Hannafin, Hamonic, Brody. You know, they got some
pretty good
solid blue line there. The problem comes in net. You know, they had Mike Smith last year, not this year. They swapped basically with Edmonton. Now they have Cam Talbot and David Riddick. I don't know if they're going to be able to get anything out of Talbot because he's shown that he can be that number one guy. He's shown it in the past.
True. And he was playing in Edmonton.
I think that playing behind Calgary's blue line, I think, is going to be a big boost for him. And
yeah.
I think he's going to do just well. Just well enough to get them at least second place. And I like Calgary's team. You know, I don't think they're going to make a super deep playoff push, but second, third round, I can easily see.
Yeah.
Third, I have Vegas. I don't like saying that because I might be one of the few people on the planet who does not like the Vegas Golden Knights.
Let's go, Vegas.
And it's my own spiteful reasons because after the expansion draft, they take Marchessault, we trade them Smith,
You gave them their team.
And we gave them their coach.
Jesus.
After we fired their coach, poor Gerard Gallant, he got fired in Carolina. And then had to call himself a cab to the airport because they couldn't arrange transportation for him. Oof. I've heard nothing besides any of that when it comes to Vegas for the last couple seasons. But you guys have given them everything that they have, and look what they've done with it. As if that's all that they've had.
Don't worry, you can do it again with Seattle.
Like they don't have a Hall of Fame defense, or not defense, a Hall of Fame goaltender. But, you know, my own personal reasons, I don't like them. But I can't short them enough so that they fall out of the playoffs, especially in a weak division like the Pacific. So they'll be third. I can see them second. I could even see them first. I think that top three is going to be shuffled a bunch throughout the entire year. But I see Vegas, and at least right now, I see them in third. Now, here might be where the shock comes in. And sitting in fourth, occupying the second wild card spot, returning to the playoffs, I have the Arizona Coyotes.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Kings.
No.
I was going to slap you
digitally. No.
Okay. The Coyotes.
The Yotes. I have them taking the second wild card. Yes.
Let's go, Yotes.
I want to see them succeed. So badly I want them to succeed because, man, they talk about a team down on their luck for so long now.
Right.
And that, as much as people want to say that a team in the desert can't work, you know, we've seen it work in the past. We've seen fan support. We've seen them make the playoffs. We've seen what they can do. And I want them to return to that glory because I love the Arizona Coyotes. Probably for the same reasons that I love my Panthers. Besides the fact that I'm, you know, born and raised here, I'm just rooting for my team. But we get a lot of the same flack of, you know, why is there a team there? They should just move. You know, nobody's going to their games. They don't deserve a team. Hearing that year after year after year, it gets a little tough to deal with at times. And I have a soft spot for the Coyotes for that reason. But I think that this year they have the talent that they need to make that push and not secure a top 3 spot, but do just enough to secure the second wild card spot. Bringing in Phil Kessel is going to be huge. Even though they lost Galchenyuk a while ago. I think that Kessel coming in, if he can put up 80 points like he did in Pittsburgh, then that's going to be a tremendous boost for them. You've got players like they have Grabner that they acquired. I don't remember if it was last offseason or the one before that.
The one before, yeah. Then he had an eye injury.
Yeah.
That kept him out almost all of last year.
But Clayton Keller is going to be awesome. I think that he's going to take a great step forward. Derek Stepan, always solid for them. On the blue line, you've got, you know, Chalmerson, Ekman Larson, Goligoski.
Oliver. Mm-hmm.
So they got some great pieces there. And in net, Antti Ranta. I trust Antti Ranta. I think that this year he's going to be able to put it all together. He's going to be able to stay healthy, which has been his biggest issue.
Yeah.
And I think that this year is the year for him. I think he's going to put up, I don't think it's going to be Vezina level numbers, but, you know, low 900s save percentage. He's going to have like a 915, creeping 120 I could see happening. Probably like a 2.6 to 2.9-ish GAA I could see. And I think doing that, I think that could be enough for them to sneak into the wild card. It'll be close. It'll come down to the wire. But I think that the Arizona Coyotes can secure a wild card spot.
Let's go,
and
Yotes.
We'll see some Yotes in the playoffs. I want to see it. In fifth, I have Edmonton. Just because you got the best player in the world. Like, they're going to compete. But, like, I just... They haven't done enough to me for me to put them any higher. I don't see where besides their top forwards. You got McDavid and Leon Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins. I don't see outside of that where this team could be anything close to a playoff contender.
You got James the real deal Neal, baby.
It's gonna
50 goals.
It's gonna be an addition by subtraction getting rid of Lucic, though. I will say that.
It's true.
He didn't fit in very well.
Their best person on the blue line, A.M Larson, maybe. You got Clefbaum.
Clefbaum. I mean, I put Clefbaum above Larson personally.
I mean, it's a solid top line or a top D pairing if you got Clefbaum and Larson.
Yeah.
But besides that, I don't see it.
Chris
and
Russell.
Then, Darnell Nurse.
Yeah, he could. Yeah.
It's a lot of
That's about sums it up.
It's a lot of
Sums it up.
And then their goalie situation. I don't see how Mike Smith replacing Cam Talbot makes it any better. And then Mikko Koskinen.
It gives them options.
Two
but I don't...
two goalies on the wrong side of 30. I don't really see where they're gonna have the goaltending that they need, especially behind a blue line like this. I just don't see it, and they're gonna be competitive just because they have McDavid and Draisaitl, and they've got people who can produce points. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But they just don't have enough, and they're against the cap, and it doesn't look like it's gonna get any better for a good while now. So I don't know what to make of this team. I don't know where it goes from here. But I have them in fifth, and then sixth, I have Vancouver. Good old Vancouver. I like Vancouver. I like their young players. I know that Besser just had a concussion issue, I think.
Yeah.
So they just lock him down, and he's dealing with some concussion issues. I don't think it's going to keep him out long term, but definitely something that's going to be they're going to have to deal with. I don't think it's going to be helpful for them in any way. And Elias, I guess is Elias Peterson, however you want to say his last name. I think he said last year he said Peterson, but
yeah, it's Peterson, I guess.
So, but man, what a stud of a player! The kid can just rip shots like it's nobody's business, and he's so much fun to watch. You got veteran presences like Suter, JT Miller has been around the block, Louis Eriksson. You've got guys that can lead these young guys in the right direction, but I don't see the real elite star level talent that they need with this roster to get past that. Adding Jordy Ben on the blue line is nice. I think that he was definitely underrated during his time in Montreal. I like him as a defenseman, but he's not going to be playing top line minutes, obviously.
No, didn't they get Tyler Myers?
They did get Tyler Myers. Just gonna mention him.
Bastard.
Solid deal, $6 million a year. Another mammoth of a man. Dude's like what, 6'8"?
Fucking big bastards out there.
God, he's huge. And then Edler and Tanev aren't superstars. They can probably do just enough, most likely. Excuse me. But, yeah, I don't know. Besides the top pairing, I don't see where this team has to go. They have Quentin Hughes. I don't know if he's going to be starting a lot, if he's going to stay with the team or get sent down. But
he
if
might not be ready.
Yeah, and I wouldn't assume that he's ready. And there's no reason to rush him, really.
No.
And then in net with Markstrom, and I like Thatcher Demko, mainly for the name Thatcher, which is
it's
incredible.
The most white bread name I've ever heard.
But I think if Demko can handle a lot of starts, take some games from Markstrom for him to just settle in a little bit, I could see them doing decently well. But like I said, I just don't see where the talent is besides that to get this team out of the basement. And then in 7th, I have Anaheim. Poor Anaheim.
Poor Anaheim.
Another team that's just getting on the wrong side of father time. Getzlav, poor guy, getting up there for sure. I like Raquel. I like Henrique. 2 fantastic forwards. I like Silverberg. But outside of that, I mean, you got Kashe, but there's really not a whole lot besides that.
Yeah, not a lot going.
I like their D. I like Cam Fowler, Hampus Lindholm, Josh Manson. You know, you got some solid names there. And then in net, I love Gibby. I love John Gibson.
Oh, he's insane.
Yeah, and he's going to be the factor for this team. If they end up higher than like 6th or 7th place, it's going to be because of John Gibson.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't have a good year, then it's going to be a rough time in Anaheim. And I don't see, until they get rid of the contract of Getzlav, until they finally got rid of Kessler's contract, I guess.
Oh, yeah? Is that gone?
I mean, it's on the books, but he's on IR, so, I think they have the space, but, not officially.
Yeah, long time IR. Poor guy.
Yeah, but they'll return to glory in a few seasons, I believe. But right now, I just don't think that this is the year for them. And then last but not least...
Last but least.
Poor LA, man. They just, much like the Ducks, they just have too many players that are getting up there.
Yeah.
Kopitar just doesn't have the magic that he did seasons ago.
No.
And getting up there in age, he's 32, which isn't too old, but for making $10 million a year, you need a lot more production out of your forward if he's making that kind of money than what Kopitar has given you.
He's making money for the cups he won, but...
Yeah, for sure. And that's the same thing with Doughty. Doughty has, in my opinion, hit a rock. The guy, I don't know what happened, but he's just, in my opinion, it's just fallen off a cliff for him. And, I still like him as a player.
I don't.
But
he looks like a dick. He does. He looks like the kind of guy that would be in a Walmart checkout line just being rude to the cashier. He looks like a dick.
I could see that. I could see it. I liked Jeff Carter. I know that he was injured a lot last season, and they definitely missed his production. Yeah. But like with a lot of the players here, just, again, getting up there.
Old.
This team's going to be in a rebuild for a few seasons, and it's going to be... they're gonna have some good games here and there, but it's not gonna be anything like what they've had in the past. And Jonathan Quick, if the guy can stay healthy, he's still a top level goaltender. But
sure,
guy just can't stay healthy. And I don't know. I don't see enough in the young talent coming in that they have that they can get out of the 8th spot. I don't see it.
Kings. All right, my Pacific's a little different.
as always.
Just a little bit different. You're gonna hate my number one choice,
Vegas.
Vegas Golden Knights.
Saw it
And then
coming.
you got the robot guys playing the drums. Those dudes.
Where's
I got
Chance?
Vegas in first place.
Where's that Gila monster looking bastard?
Yes. What's his name? I don't remember
Chance.
his name. Chance, the Gila monster.
Yep.
Let's go. I got Vegas at first. Their forwards are great. Mark Stone for a full year is great. I just Vegas. Just Vegas, baby.
Just Vegas.
Vegas, baby. Marc-Andre Fleury.
Stud.
Malcolm Subban. Yeah, they're going to be all right. They'll be all right. Second place, the San Jose Sharks. I got to go San Jose for the same reasons. You got Carlson, you got Burns.
Yep.
They lost Pavelski, but I think Timo Meier is going to bust out this year. They have Tomas Hertl. He's going to bust out this year, too. They're going to build upon last year. And then you got Jumbo Joe. His beard's going to carry them all. He's going to nestle them all in the beard and carry them into second place in the Pacific Division for me. They didn't really add too much. They had to get rid.
Yep.
Yeah. And Martin Jones sucks. I just can't. Hopefully he bounces back. I hope he does. I hope the guy bounces
hope so
back.
too.
He has a great year. He's shown that he can play extremely well.
I don't see where you can go but up when it comes to that. His last season was
Don't
brutal.
challenge him. Don't tempt him with a good time. And then in third place, you're gonna love this one. I got the Yotes.
Ooh,
The
see,
Yotes.
you got him higher than I do. I thought I was being like generous, saying,
Dude, the fucking Yotes. They got better. They got better because if Ranta's healthy, they lost so many man games last year to injury.
Mm-hmm.
So very many. And then they got old Schmaltz play a full season with them.
Yep.
You got Schmaltzy, and you got Grabner, you got Phil the Thrill. Phil the Thrill is going to add a dynamic to Arizona that they didn't have, that they will definitely use. And Clayton Keller had a down year last year. I picked him in fantasy. Build on that young hype, and he didn't do too well. Had to drop him. So, Clayton, you have a lot to making up to do for my fantasy team if you want to be on it again. I know that's the greatest honor you'll ever have. And then you said Antti Ranta and Darcy Kemper played out of his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Out of his, and they also had, what is it, Aiden Hill? He plays relatively well when he's there.
Mm-hmm.
So they have quite solid goaltending. Pretty good 1-2 punch, very underrated goaltending in Arizona. Yep. I see them doing very well this year. I don't see the same amount of injuries happening.
Yeah.
Last year, I think their top goal scorer had like 19 goals.
Yeah.
That's freaking insane to think about, but that just goes to show where they get their offense from is spread out.
Yep.
They're deep.
Oh, yeah.
And adding Phil just added to that. And Galchenyuk for Phil. Phil will get you 40. You know, Phil can get you 40. Galchenyuk got you 18 or something.
Are we talking goals or hot dogs?
Both. At the same time. So I got the Yotes in third
so that
place.
means you have Calgary dropping out of the playoffs.
Out of the playoffs, Calgary. I'm sorry.
Wow.
The power of the Yotes is going to overpower Calgary, and the fact that the Central is stacked.
Yeah.
Calgary's fallen out. I don't see them having the same offensive output as they did last year. They got pretty lucky with no injuries, right? They didn't have too many significant injuries.
Not too many, no.
And they got above average goaltending from Mike Smith and Riddick. I think Riddick's really good though.
Yeah.
I think he's going to do well, and I think Talbot finds his spot in Calgary. I think Talbot's going to take that starting role.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to rejuvenate himself, but it's still not going to be in.
I mean, he has to, getting out of Edmonton.
Yeah, you got to play better. He played in New York here in the absence of Hank one year, and he played amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He was very good. So
he won the job at Edmonton.
Yeah, I know he has it in him. He has it in him. After that, I have Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
They are my favorite team to listen to on the radio at work. A, because they come on around the time that I get to settle in and listen.
Mm-hmm.
And B, because it is so fun to hear the disappointment in the announcers' voices every single game. They will find any reason to mention Connor McDavid's name, even if he's not on the ice, if he's not playing that day, because that's the only semblance of hope they have in Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
But having listened to a few preseason games, including tonight, they're getting a little bit of offense from different places. I know it's preseason, you can't really bank on it, but they have Chase on, who can put up a couple goals here and there. They have Tomas Jurko, or I don't know how that Jurcho. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I don't either.
But he's had injury-ridden career. I mean, he started in Detroit and he got hurt, never cracked the lineup, blah blah blah, bouncing around. He's actually having a pretty good preseason. I think he's going to make the team and he's going to make an impact. I don't know, Mike Smith and Koskinen. Koskinen can play well. He can steal you a game here and there. But their defense is just Like you said, there's a lot of going around there.
A lot of
So, but I feel like McDavid's going to have a monster year.
As always, yeah.
It's just not going to be enough. He's poor McDavid.
I know.
He may go down as like one of the best players of all time, and he's not going to have anything to show for it.
I know.
He's stuck in that shithole. And fucking poor guy. Then I have Vancouver coming in after them. Good young talent. Peterson, if he gets a full year in without getting hurt, without your boys hurt him. Matheson slamming him down.
Right. Yep. I caught a lot of flack. I caught a lot of flack for that.
Oh my God, the year. Clubbed him blindside. No, he just overpowered him, and the kid weighs 100 pounds.
Yeah.
So maybe the kid will come in with a little more grit to his game, a little more strength, but he's gonna be crazy good. And Besser, crazy good. JT Miller might have one of his best years there. I think
he has a chance to be the man now, pretty much.
Yeah, he's always kind of been in an overshadowed role wherever he's been. So I think he might have a really good year. He might put up 30 goals this year. I could see JT Miller put up 30 goals.
I could see it.
And Markstrom, I feel like, is kind of coming into his own. He needs a better backup, though. He needs, despite the name, he needs a better backup than Thatcher.
Thatcher Demko.
Jakob Markstrom. But yeah, Vancouver will come in next. Then I have Anaheim, much like you. My bottom looks like your bottom. This is the one that we agreed on, like 4 picks in a row, which is kind of odd for us.
Yep.
So I have Anaheim. Poor John Gibson plays his heart out. He's very, very good. He's got the Connor McDavid syndrome, but in Anaheim.
Yep.
He'll stop anything that comes at him, but Jesus Christ, they come at him pretty hard.
Yeah, they do.
So see if they can figure anything out in Anaheim. And then I have the Kings. But I will say that Ilya Kovalchuk is scoring 174 goals this year. No, fuck that guy. He's a bigger asshole than Patrick Laine. Ilya Kovalchuk's a bitch, and I hate him. So that's my Pacific Division.
Well, can't get much better than that, can it?
No, not really.
The last few bits we're going to talk about, it's not going to take as long as the division predictions, because
we'll fire them out here.
We went through all 31 teams and gave a background to pretty much every single one. So that was a huge time sink there, but I mean, we're glad to do it. We love talking about that.
Little long-winded, but you want to know what? All of my picks are going to be right, so this is reference for you to come back and see.
Yeah, you can always bookmark this and come back in late April, and we'll see what's going on.
I will say I'm the only one amongst us that had one of the teams right in the finals. So
that's true. Last year he ended up winning the cup. Last year he did have the Blues in the finals. And I bet when they were sitting at 31, he was like, ooh.
Go. I had Toronto as my other team, so I was like, go Toronto! But my Blues made it, so.
Yep. All right, we're going to jump into some award predictions now.
Yes.
See where we're thinking there.
All right.
We'll start out with the Hart, because obviously that's the one everyone goes for.
Got to go with it.
I still have Kucherov. I think he's going to. I think we'll go back-to-back. If he doesn't get hurt, guy's gonna net 50 to 60, I think.
Yeah.
Guy, he's absurd on that top line in Tampa, and I don't see how. The only other contender I could see is McDavid, but they're gonna look, even though it should be an individual award, they're gonna look at the entire team, because they're
gonna
look
to see if they make playoffs.
Yeah, and Edmonton's just not gonna make it there, and despite what McDavid is capable of. I still think McDavid's the best player on the planet. Yeah. But without the team, I don't think he's going to make the MVP votes. And for that reason, I have Kucherov.
The Cooch.
Yep.
All right. I have Nathan MacKinnon.
Solid choice.
He's going to win hard. Just because his team is going to actually make the playoffs for me. Mm-hmm. And I think he should have won it when Taylor Hall won it.
That's fair.
I think he's an absolute animal. And he's going to do it this year. It was between him and Austin Matthews for me. I think Matthews is going to have a crazy good year.
I could see it happening. There's a lot of good players to choose from.
But I'm going with McKinnon because I feel like he's more... He has a good supporting cast, and he's just... I think he's the best skater in the fucking league.
Yep.
Man, it's crazy. He's on another planet. When he's in the zone, you're like, is he playing against kids? He does whatever the fuck he wants out there.
Absolutely.
I got McKinnon winning the Hart.
Solid. Let's move on to the Calder for the Rookie of the Year. And,
this is a tough one.
Let's see. Who do you got for the Calder this year?
Against my better judgment, I'm going with Jack Hughes.
Jack Hughes.
I think he's going to win. I think he has a better supporting cast than Kakko does.
Yeah.
So I got to go with Jack Hughes. He's going to play with better players. So I feel like he's going to get the nod there.
Well, then one of us has to go with Capo Kakko, and I'm going with Capo Kakko.
Oh, shit.
I think that he's gonna have the numbers. I think that he's going to be able to put up the points that Jack Hughes won't, even though Jack Hughes might have a better team and a better season overall. Mm-hmm. I think that Kakko is going to be putting up the points. And as we've seen, the team success isn't always the most important. Like, you can look at Barzell, for instance, winning it, and the Islanders weren't really all that great in 2017, 2018. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give it to Kakko. I think that he's going to put up the numbers to get it.
I know I'm right, but your predictions better come true. Because I like them.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah.
What do we got next? Going on to the Norris. Best defenseman. I'm giving it to Burns.
Burnsy.
I'm going with the beard. I think that...
Who won it last year?
It was it Giordano last year?
Giordano, yes, he deserved it too. Yeah, that's right. Yep.
And I think that Burns is going to take it back.
Ooh.
I think that he's going to have a solid year. He's going to put up insane numbers again, like he always does. Mm-hmm. And with the success of the Sharks, since I have them first in the division, I think that they're going to heavily favor that for that reason. And I'm going to go with Burnsy.
Nice. I'm going way off the fucking grid.
Oh?
For the Norris Trophy. I'm going with Shabbat out of Ottawa. That's right. Last place in the whole fucking league, but he's winning the Norris. With a minus 74.
You are off your rocker.
He's going to have enough points to pull it off. He's going to have 130 points. He's going to... I hate the Norris Trophy.
I know.
It's always the same motherfuckers up there. It's Shabbat. It's my pick.
Hey.
I can't help it.
Going off the grid, you never know.
I'm going way off the fucking grid. You never know.
Shabbat, going to the Vezina now. Best goaltender. Who you got?
Mm-hmm. I got my boy Ben 6'9" Bishop. He's basically a shooter tutor in there. You ever see the commercial back in the day where they have the big Russian guy and he just sort of backs into the net and they just start flinging pucks off of him and the whole crowd's like rah, 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 and he's just standing there and getting plunked with him? Yeah, that's Ben Bishop this year. I haven't won the Vezina Trophy. I do, however, think that even Carter Hart might be nominated for it. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's going to be up there, but I have Ben Bishop.
You're going off the grid with these, man. I love it.
You have to. You can't go by the book. This is hockey.
Well, I'm going by the book, no matter what you say, and I'm going Vasilevsky.
Boo!
I just think this team is absurd. Like, I think he's going to keep putting up the solid numbers that he did, because it's not like he didn't earn it last season.
Yeah. And they didn't just steamroll people. Vasilevsky had to make huge saves quite often.
And he's going to have to do the same this year. Because, hell, even in preseason, a couple games ago, my boys put up 6 on Tampa and all 6 on Vasi. So if he has a bad game,
it's true.
They're going to suffer.
They still have Louis Domingue, Or no, didn't they?
Nope.
Did they get
They have
what's his
Curtis
name out of
McElhaney
Carolina?
now.
Yes, McElhaney.
Yep. But
Not bad.
yeah, definitely not a bad backup to have. And I just think that with this team, the success they're gonna have, they're not gonna turn away from Vasilevsky.
Yeah.
And I think he'll go back to back on it. But we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Nice.
President's Trophy. What do you think is gonna lead the league in wins?
You're gonna love my choice.
Woo.
The Vegas Golden Knights.
Oh, wow.
With 700 points. No. Vegas winning the President's Trophy, in my opinion.
Hey, you know what? Honestly, I wouldn't even mind it because that just means they're not winning the cup. So,
curse.
fine by me.
Curse them up. Vegas.
I have Tampa again. I know
Yeah?
it's the boring pick, but it's the safe pick. And I just don't see where this team goes down from where they were. They're not going to have 62 wins like they did last year.
No. Jesus.
But they're still going to be top of the league, in my opinion. So
yeah.
I don't see another team unseating Tampa from the top of the league right now.
Yeah.
Moving on to the Selkie.
Ooh.
We're going defensive forwards now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still going Bergeron.
Ah, boo!
I still think it's Bergeron's award, man. Like,
It's his to lose, for sure.
yeah, like,
He's so good.
he's won so many, and he's the mold of a two-way forward that you want all of your forwards to be like, pretty much. He's Mr. Selkie. At this point, he's just Mr. Selkie.
They should just name it the Bergeron.
Yeah.
After he retires, I wouldn't doubt that they change the name.
Yeah, me neither. And so for me, since it's his to lose, I'm still going with Bergeron.
Yeah. For defensive forward, I'm going with Patrick Line. No, fuck that guy. I'm going to go with Mark Stone.
Mark Stone, solid choice.
Case. He made a huge case to win it last year. And
majority in Ottawa, too.
Yeah. I'm going with Mark Stone. I think he's in a good place to be able to play that type of game. And I think he's really going to break out this year. He looks happy.
It's a solid choice. Solid choice. Not as much off the grid as Shabbat.
That's the cookie cutter choice, I thought. Shabbat.
Yeah.
Morris. Yes, sir.
We'll go into the Rocket Richard, and I'm still going with Ovi.
Ovi! Boo!
Yep. Still going with Ovi. For the same thing as Bergeron, man. It's his to lose. The guy has been an absolute machine goal-scoring wise, and as much as he doesn't want to admit it, I really think he wants Gretzky's record.
He does.
He wants it.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. And
he's the only one that's ever going to sniff it.
Yeah, and I think that he just pushes himself way harder than pretty much anybody in the league, and he's going to let that drive him to continue to be the top goal-scoring forward for me.
He's a freak of nature.
Yeah.
He's a freak of nature. Once in a lifetime. My Richard choice, Austin Matthews. Austin Matthews. Most goals in the league. It's going to happen. Put a stamp on it.
That's tough to hear. I don't want to hear that.
I just don't want to say Ovi again. I really just... I don't want to say the same names. Austin Matthews. Richard.
That would be interesting, though. I will say that. When you've got a team like Marner, Tavares, and Matthews, to say that Matthews is going to be the one leading it.
Not getting hurt this year. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's got to earn that contract. They might name him the captain. He's doing it. Austin Matthews, most goals.
All right. We're on with it. We'll go with Lady Bing.
The Bing!
Yep. Going sportsmanship is what they call it. But basically it's who deserved the Selkie but didn't get it.
Yeah. No penalties. They go for the low penalty guys. Yeah.
So, and I have Barkov winning back-to-back.
Yeah.
Because, in my opinion, Barkov will be in the contention for the Selkie. I don't think he unseats Bergeron just yet.
Or Stone.
But I could see those being the three. I could see Bergeron, Stone, Barkov being the three Selkie candidates.
Very solid top three to pick, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that much like last season, he's not going to do enough. He's not going to have his. I know it's a terrible stat, and I hate this stat, but the plus minus is like so important to a lot of the voters. And Barkov's plus minus was not good because the goaltending was bad, the defense was bad. So
he's out there all the time.
Yeah,
he has to be.
He had the most ice time of I think any forward in the entire league.
Yeah,
and so he had a lot of goals against that weren't even his fault. But a much deserved Lady Bing last year, and I think he takes it again this year.
Yeah. My Lady Bing, Tom Wilson. No, I'm not going with Tom. I'm going with Barkov as well. I got Barky. He's too good.
Yep.
He's too good, and he plays the right way.
I had to have at least one homer pick.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to go way off and say, oh, Bobrovsky's winning the Vezina, or Ekblad is winning the Norris. No, I wasn't going to do that, but I definitely...
We'll go Barky.
I went a homer pick for one of them, and I had to go with Barky.
See, I don't even go homer pick because the Rangers aren't doing anything relevant.
You don't think Hank's going to win the Vezina?
Barky Bing! Barky Bing.
And
what's up next?
We'll call it the last but not least, but we'll go with the Jack Adams.
Okay.
Go with the
what
coach
about the
of the
Art
year.
Ross?
The Art Ross? Are we doing Art Ross?
Yeah, most points.
I mean, for me, that would have been Kucherov as well.
You're going Cooch? I'm going McDavid.
Yeah. I mean, either one of them could pretty much do it. So.
Yeah.
But what did Kucherov have? Like 128 points last year?
Yeah,
something
insane.
stupid?
Can't duplicate it. I don't see it happening twice. McDavid.
We'll see. We'll see. Yep. Easy Art Ross talk. But we'll finish it off with Jack Adams. Coach of the year.
Coach of the year.
I'm going John Cooper in Tampa.
The Coops.
Yep.
Boo.
I think that it was like, for some reason, it felt like it was too easy of a choice to give it to him last year until they gave it to Trotz because Trotz actually had to try.
Oh, yeah. He turned the whole ship around. People saw Tampa being good. No one saw the Islanders being good.
Yeah. But I think that this year now, like, people expect the Islanders to be good, and I don't think there were really any other coaches that were in the running. Maybe Torts with Columbus after, with all the stuff that he was dealing with, and they still did well, still made it to the second round, even though it's not supposed to count postseason votes. They obviously talked about it because of that.
Yeah, and up in Calgary, he turned that team around pretty good. And Rod Brindamore could have been considered as well for the Hurricanes. They turned the ship around for a lot of teams.
Yeah. But I think that now with another year, if Tampa doesn't, like, if they don't exactly reproduce what they did last year, because 62 wins is absurd to try to make again, but if they make it to 55, say, then I still say they give it to Cooper.
Yeah. All right, my Jack Adams going off the board again. Rick Tocchet, Yotes.
Ooh, okay.
He's finally gonna get some recognition for making that team what it could have been if he didn't have as many injuries last year. I feel like he could have been.
If they make third like you predicted them to, I could definitely see them.
If they make the playoffs,
given that consideration.
Give me Rick Tocchet.
All right. Very interesting choice. I had a lot of Tampa in there.
Yeah.
But best team in the league, dude. I'm sorry.
It's true.
It's so hard to pick against them.
Yeah.
All right. So awards out of the way. We're gonna go now to talking about which free agents / trades. I included some trades as well, but which individual player is gonna make the biggest difference on their new team. So I have looks like 7 players here that we can talk about. I have Panarin for the Rangers. I have Bobrovsky for the Panthers. Pavelski in Dallas. Duchesne in Nashville. PK Subban in Jersey. Tyson Barrie in Toronto. Or Kevin Hayes in Philly.
Yeah. Those are quite some names. Jeez. Player that's going to have the biggest impact on their new team. I want to say Panarin because the Rangers have not had a player that's just purely offensively gifted. They tried with Nash, and he declined, and he had concussion problems.
Yep.
But I also want to say Duchesne because this is the first time I feel like Duchesne is playing where he wants to play.
True.
And I feel like that can make a huge difference because he's going to be happy with Nashville. And I also want to lean towards Pavelski as well, because I think he's going to be a lot better than people think. Another name that kind of goes under the radar, and I think he's going to have a pretty big impact, maybe not the same as those big names, is Eric Howla in Carolina.
Yep.
He's
I could definitely
coming off
see
of
that
being
happening.
injured, but he had a really good season with Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? He plays with fucking Aho, or he gets to play with a top line there. He might do extremely well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but all in all, I'm going to say Panarin probably has the biggest impact because he is the type of player that my Rangers have not had in a long time.
Well, I'm going with the homer pick. I'm going Bobrovsky. Going with Bobo. He's going to be...
both went homer. Let's go.
He's, honestly, besides the first time we traded away Luongo, when he first went to Vancouver, like, that's... To me, that was Luongo prime. Like, as he got to Vancouver, and then he had his prime years in Vancouver. And then he had a couple good seasons when he came back. But Bobrovsky is going to be our best goaltender since... ever.
Yeah.
Like, I can't
Dan
think...
Beesbrook.
Yeah, besides Beezer, I can't think of another goaltender to the caliber of Bobrovsky that we've ever had in the 25 years. Prime. Yeah. Besides Luongo. But the problem with Luongo when we had Luongo in his prime is there was no team around him.
Yeah.
There was no forward group. Like, the defense was solid, but
now you have it. So
yeah, and the biggest problem with the Panthers, as I mentioned when we went over the predictions, was our biggest issue was goaltending. If we can get 60-plus starts out of Bobrovsky and he gets us 30 to 35 wins, then that's going to be a win for us. We're going to be right in the mix because that's just something we didn't have last year, and that's what held us back last year. So I think that Bobrovsky coming in, if he can put up the same Vezina-level numbers that he's capable of, easily going to make the biggest difference out of this group of players for me, anyway.
It's a good choice. Good choice.
But
I like it.
Yeah. So we'll see. There's a lot of good names in new places this year. So it's gonna be very interesting to see.
Yes. And you want to make a Cup Finals prediction?
A Cup Finals prediction, yeah. That's something we didn't talk about. 2 teams in the Cup
Finals.
Oh man.
We'll make this the last thing, and then we'll wrap her up for predictions.
Yep. Okay. Shoot. I'm gonna go with, much to my dismay, I'm gonna go Toronto.
Oh.
Yep. And I'm going to go with San Jose. Toronto, San Jose. Yep.
Oh boy. You think Jumbo's gonna win it?
We'll see.
Oh, we'll see. You're not giving us a winner. You're just gonna give us the two.
Yeah. Because I don't know. Because I don't want to say Toronto makes it. I don't want to say that they win it. But I just think that this year is going to be their best chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
All right. I'm going off the board, boys. Ooh. This is how it works. I'm going with Dallas.
Ooh.
Dallas is going to make it to the finals. You know who they're going to be playing, Joey?
I don't know.
Your Florida Panthers.
You need to stop.
Dallas, Florida. Battle of the South.
Oh, my Lord. As much as I would love that.
Sun.
I would love that. I just can't see it happening.
It's happening. Dallas, Florida. Bank it. I always get at least one of the teams right.
So I look forward to Dallas in the finals.
Yeah. I think 2 out of the last 10 years have I not gotten one of the teams. Every other time I've at least gotten one. So I'm going Florida.
Very interesting. And neither of us picked Tampa. That's very interesting.
They're not going to make it.
And we'll wrap it up. Our last segment, super quick, but it's our what we like to call 5 for fighting.
Yes.
5 talking points. Yeah, 5 talking points, rapid fire. For this week, I went with just questions overall. Kind of more predictions, but just some rapid fire questions that we can get through. And this isn't always going to wrap up the show. We'll probably have it in the middle here and there. It'll scatter around, but it just happens to end it out this week. But for the first topic, we're gonna go. Who do you think is gonna have more points, Kucherov or McDavid? And kind of the Art Ross talk again.
Yep, we've already done. We pretty much covered it. Yeah, so, I got McDavid.
And I got Kucherov. So.
Well, you're wrong, David.
I see how it is.
Yep.
All right. More goals. Ovechkin or Stamkos?
Oh, my Stammer cat is right here with me. Fuck it, Stammers.
Ooh.
I'm going Stammers.
I'm still sticking with Ovi. I had him as my Rocket Richard. Stammer cat.
Stammer cat. She's going. She's got
going Ovi. But it'll be close. I will say it will be close.
That means I have Ovechkin coming in at least third in goals. Because I chose Matthews with the most. Stammers over Ovechkin. Let's go.
Who has the better goalie stats at the end of the year? Bobrovsky or Varlamov?
Oh, Bobrovsky all day. I can't even fight you on that one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm going to say Varlamov.
Oh!
And here's why.
Oh.
Because I don't know what Quenneville is going to be doing with this defense yet. And this defense in front of Luongo and Reimer last year was dreadful. And they faced way too many open shots that no goalie in the league should stop.
Yeah. Bob has never had worse stats than Varlamov.
I just think...
So it's not going to happen.
Well, this could be the year because I trust Trotz, and I think that the blue line he's got there, I think that he won't put up numbers similar to Leonard, but it'll be just close enough, and I think he might edge out Bobrovsky. So
Islanders dead last in the Metro, Varlamov. What do we got next? That's number 3,
That
right?
was number 3. So, yeah, number 4. Which team has more wins, Toronto or Boston?
Toronto.
I'm going to go with Toronto as well.
Yeah, I have them in first in the Atlantic, so I have to go with them.
Yeah, and I don't, but I'm going to say Toronto. But,
yeah.
I mean, because you never know. It could be close. They could be second place, but just because they have more overtime losses.
Points.
So you never know. But I'm still going to go with Toronto.
Nice.
And last one, probably the most fun one. Who's going to end with more penalty minutes, Evander Kane or Tom Wilson?
Oh, I like it. Oh, fuck. Games suspended don't count as penalty minutes, so I'm going with Kane. Because Wilson's just going to get the
That's why I was going to pick Kane as well, because Kane does just enough to stay on the ice and Kane not get suspended.
Kane is more prone to take, like, stick infractions, too, like slash, hook, this and that. I think Tom Wilson just goes for that big hit, and that's why he's got, like, the bad rap.
Yeah.
I got Tom Wilson winning the Lady Bing, though, too, so. Yeah, I got to go with Kane. Evander Kane.
All right. Solid.
Sweet. We only disagreed on 3 of them.
Yep.
So not too bad.
Not terrible. That segment might be longer in the future, depending on the topics we talk about. Who knows?
Yeah.
We might argue here and there.
We don't have to cover every team next time. So next time.
And the next episode will be a lot shorter next week. Hockey starts next week, man.
It's true. I'm excited.
Yep.
We'll see when we record, but hopefully it could be kind of a consistent thing. And it's going to be at fucking where the 3 a.m. bag skate. So it's going to be, later on we get to cover the games from the night before. That's kind of an advantage for us.
Yep.
Being vampires that we are. So.
Yeah, we can talk about the opening night games if we end up doing it like Wednesday night. We can talk about the opening games.
Let's shoot for that, actually.
Yeah.
Let's try that out.
Yeah, we can do that. And we can preview the next games as they go along. We can do like a weekly preview and review the big games that we want to focus on that are coming up and see where we go.
Yeah, we're always open for suggestions on topics as well.
Absolutely. If you guys have any topic ideas or anything that you guys want us to cover, you can always feel free to comment below or
or if you just want to tell me how right I am about everything, you can do that too.
So but guys, if you made it to this part of the video, first of all, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We just love talking hockey. We love bullshitting, and we can go on for hours about this stuff if people would let us. But
it's true.
If you guys, if you liked the episode, we're gonna hopefully make many more of them on a weekly basis. Don't forget to drop a like if you want. We would appreciate it. Hit some comments. We want to hear what some of you guys' predictions are and see, get ready for another year of hockey, man. It's going to be great. Yeah. I'm so excited. It's been a long time since I've been like this excited for a hockey season. Mainly because my Dolphins are absolute trash and hockey's kind of all I have to look forward to at the moment.
Yeah.
So.
Lucky you.
But that about wraps it up, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. Appreciate it.